Hello guys, it's Sakuems. So in this week's video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek on my book project. I've talked about this before, and this is the day where you find out a bit more about the story, the characters, the places, and things like that. Now, this is a work in progress. A lot of the information that I will give might change, but I will try to just give you the general idea and not spoil you too much, because this is my actual research book. There's a lot of information that is spoiler alert. The story, the characters, their agenda, the entire scenario. In general, there's a lot of information, and so if you don't want to get spoilers about the story, I would suggest you maybe just not to watch this video actually, because I'm gonna give you a bit more information that you might want to know. I'm still gonna try to stay away from like a big spoiler, like the I guess the elements that the writer, is the only one who knows about that, because a lot of the things that I've written in this research binder thing are informations that none of the characters actually know. So yeah, that is a disclaimer. Second disclaimer, everything in here is in French, because I have starting to work on short stories first, and I was writing them in English, and I realized that my vocabulary is not there yet. I am good when it comes to like speaking and understanding English, but I'm not like very much fluent enough, and I don't know enough words really to go deep dive into a writing system. And of course, as a native speaker of French, I am a lot better when it comes to expressing myself, especially writing, if I use my native language. So I switched to writing in French first, and then the actual book will be translated either by me, because it is easier to go from French to English than write directly in English, or I will maybe get it crowdfunding so I have enough money for the translation, and I'm going to be in need for someone who's a native speaker from the UK maybe, or US, I don't know yet, that he's fluent in French. That is how you translate properly a book. So technically speaking, if you're not speaking French, which you probably aren't, you're gonna be able to like look at the pages in this binder and not even getting what it's about. So that's one thing. This is my main character. Second disclaimer, because it is French, I'm gonna try to translate some of it and explain the story, but I might have trouble with certain concepts because I haven't really translated anything yet, and there's a reason why it's in French. It's because it's way more complex than what you think. So if I bump into words or if I don't know how to articulate things, I'm really sorry, but I will try my best. So you're gonna take a look at characters, some of the story, what it's about. A lot of that is not complete yet. I have to go through all of my research, and the actual writing portion of my book is done on computer. I did a lot of research on paper. Like for example, I have like lots of things and lots of notes here. But now I switched to working on my Google Drive folder thing. Like I have basically a Google Doc that I can access to everywhere in the world, mainly co-working space or at home, and I have like chapters, and it's really organized, and that way I can develop everything, edit quite quickly, add things if I want to. It's really easy now to have things online, and it is protected with like a password and everything, so nobody can go. What I'll do basically is I'll save a copy of that on like my local hard drive if case there's anything going on and that way I have like a backup, but the general like concept and all the character designs and all the character description is still like part of this. Eventually, when I'm getting closer to like something more substantial, is it the word, I will maybe print a copy just in case I'm losing all the files, because you never know, and I will have like a copy printed and added to this binder. But for any sketching, any artwork, it is still pretty much not paperwork. I'm just gonna go through all the pages and show you stuff. So characters now. Basically the story, because I just wanna put that up before talking about characters. The general story is the world is based on magic. So technically, how the best way to describe that is you have to think about magic as a religion. English is hard. What I'm saying is that magic is a religion. So there are like actual like the source is the source of life, and that really just is the fuel of the world, and that source of magic is what brings life everywhere. It's running in every living thing, in every creature, in the ground, in the river, like it's everywhere. But not everybody has like magic running through their veins. But there's like a cult of the magic, if you think. If most people respect the source. We have it's like an organization around that. You have like the church per se. It's not really the church, it's actually called the academy. And you have like what is it called English? What is it called when the priest is just providing information to like faithful people? La messe in like French. Why do I don't know that word? I have no idea with that, but it's based on Christianity. It's just basically the same system. The general idea is that this is revolving around that, and then you have the source, and you have people who are basically protector of that source, and everyone is just around that. And you have also a government segment. There's not just the actual source and the academy. This is one big part, and then you also have non-magical people who are basically making the laws, and it's just like hand in hand, basically like a republic with still parts of the religion beliefs, and the religion itself has some power. It's like 50-50. So that's that. Before I talk about characters, I need to go back to what is magic going. So it is like based on religions. So there's like a lot of information. If you really want to like read everything, you can pause on that. But the source is the power of the world. Then we have oracles. I don't know if it's the same word in English, but they're like little, I guess, partially like semi-god kind of thing. They're like the creature, not like humans, they're like creature who are basically the link between the source, who's like literally God, and the living. It's like emissary. I don't know exactly the word in English again, but you can't really talk to the source because it's a magical essence, but it has a conscious. It's not just like, it has the ability to communicate with the oracles, and then the protector of the magic, they are basically brotherhood master. They can communicate with the oracles, and that's how you can like the message through those people, and then they'll provide all the information. There's like a whole system basically for the access to magic, and everyone else has a different level. And then you have like the commoners, like the basic people, and we also have people who don't have any magic. So what I'm saying is basically the entire system is based on magic, the protectors, and the 5 elements. So I am working with the pillar from China. The 5 pillars, if you don't know what it is, it's like the yin-yang, I guess, the system, because I just thought it would be more interesting for me than just using 4 elements. I don't know why I'm so drawn to that one, but basically my source is divided between 5 different elements. So metal, water, wood, fire, and earth, and each element has its own sanctuary. So everything works well, of course, in this world until somebody decides to take over the power of the protectors. So now back to what my story is about. Basically, that person is taking control over this entire system during what is called the dark selection. Basically, the selection is where a master is picked out of contenders by the actual source. And the person who was supposed to take place in the Fire Master was actually rejected by the source, and he freaked out and he had a mental breakdown, and he used his power to basically overcome and overthrow everybody. Not everybody, but he basically took power, and that is the bad guy. And now I can just give you more information about what's happening in my story. We basically, I don't know when I will start the story, but the balance now of the realm is completely off, and my heroes have to reinstall like the old system and basically overthrow this bad guy who's now taking all the powers. Instead of just having 5 protectors, there's only 1, and so it's not supposed to be like that. And yeah, the entire story is going to be about how to get back to a balanced world. The source is now quiet, everything is just a mess, and the more time is spent, the more the world is an unstable place. Demons and just stuff happening. It's just a terrible place to be. And my heroes are going to work really hard towards this project of putting everything back in place. That is the general idea. It is really hard to explain the concept of the world where I have to make everything. Hope that I make sense. It would be easier for me to just explain the entire story, but I don't want to do that. So now back to characters. If you are still here, this is Ayla. I have talked about her previously in like an Instagram post. I've talked about the book. This one is a concept out of her in the 2nd or 3rd book, because this is going to be a trilogy. So this is now how she looks in the 1st book. This is now how you're gonna see her. This is a grown-up version, because when we start, you're gonna see, I guess, read about her childhood and how she grew up, and the story really begins when she leaves the water sanctuary and she is 16 years old. Here she's like 20, 21-ish. So it is not in the beginning of the story, but this is how she's going to look. I'm really, really happy with the concept art. I am very nitpicky about how people are portrayed in a dystopian society. She can't be like wealthy, well-fed, have money and all of that combined with like nice clothing and all. When she starts out and she's like on this adventure with her backpack, and like she doesn't have a horse, she doesn't have like a lot of means, she just have herself. And so when she starts out, she's gonna have pretty basic clothing. She is coming from a family that has left her some things. She's not completely broke and like without anything, of course, but she can't really have that kind of clothes, like very fancy, while still traveling. So this is from a different part of the story where she actually changes and he's more established in something. I don't know exactly when, but she's gonna have that outfit at some time. She is basically the water chosen one, because every element has like, it's like the Jedi thing. Some people have more power than others, and they also have a tendency to be more drawn to one element. And in each generation, you're gonna have like people who are basically able to use magic, and they're maybe going to be better at one thing or another. And some of them are also going to basically select or decide based on their abilities if they want to pursue a career in per se in one element, one branch of the actual magic. And so Isla was supposed, because she's really young in the first part of the story, she was supposed to be joining the academy. You go there, it's like Harry Potter thing. I mean, I'm not super original when it comes to that, but you go to school, like basic schooling, and around the age of 10-ish, you are able to join the academy if you want to. You don't have to, it's completely optional, but if you want to, you can join the academy, and you work your way up towards different levels. Once you are a sorcerer, which is, like I said, level 4, you get to be attending the actual selection if you want to become a master. Now, it takes a lot of work to go there, and you are going to be able to receive the source of the power only if you're ready, if you're worthy, etc., etc. If you don't have that, you're still going to be a level 4 sorcerer able to use magic of your element, but you're not going to have the actual like source power of that. You're just using the magic because you have magic in your veins, but you're not on the next level, I guess. So Ayla was not necessarily supposed to have the water element, but based on the story, because basically a lot of the persons who could have got that power are dead. Yeah, it is like not a big spoiler because this is going to happen in the first like third of the first book anyways, but she is going to be very sensitive to water, like her great aunt, who is the actual protector of the water element. So she's like from the same family. Anyways, Ayla is going to be basically the main character, and she's the one who's going to do her best to overthrow the bad guy, because that's her. It's not necessarily a prophecy in any ways. She's going to struggle with that because she didn't ask at all for this burden that she's gonna have to do it anyways. This is Ayla. It's hard again to talk about her for like, I could talk about her for 30 minutes, but I'm just going to give the basic information, and she's going to grow up during the entire story until she's an adult, around like 30-ish, because she's gonna have to go through a lot, and she's gonna meet different people, and she's gonna struggle a lot, and she's going to try to find answers and figure out how to basically save the world. That's her job. Whether she wants or not is another story, which she will get more info about if you read my book. So this is Ayla, and if you want to know more about her, you can ask me anything in the question, like in the comment section, and I will give you more information. We have more Ayla. This is actually what's starting out the concept art, and I'm not sure yet if she's going to have a familiar or not. Maybe she will, maybe she don't. I don't know yet, but this is another like installment. Maybe she's younger here. We have another one when she's like 16-ish. Not sure about that yet. And then I have sketched her in the last installment when she's actually a grown-up. This is more of a 30-ish years old Ayla in the last book. Really cool. I really like her. Another character is Alvin. Alvin is like one of my favorite characters. She is an elf, and she is the chosen one for the wood element. She doesn't know that. What can I tell you about her is she's going to be like a rival in a way, but not in what you may think she's going to be. At first, you're gonna see her as somebody who's really like easily pissed off. She doesn't have a lot of human interaction. She's like an old soul, but she's very much arrogant, and she's like the kind of the opposite of Ayla in terms of character. Basically, she's going to travel with Ayla. I don't know exactly when they're going to meet, but she's one of the main characters, and she's gonna have a love interest who's a girl, because it made sense for me for her to not be heterosexual. I don't exactly know why, but I want to incorporate couples that are different, and because I have like a love triangle and I don't want her to be a part of it anyway, so... And she is like an elf warrior. She didn't know she had like magic in any way, so she has like different power in a way, because she controls, like she doesn't control, but she is sensitive to wood, but she also is trained as a warrior, so that's pretty cool. And this is not like the official design because she looks really young in here. Maybe this is her in there like 15, like 14, 15-ish, but the actual character, you're gonna see her when she's 20. She's older than Ayla, so I am working on that on my computer just to make her look a little bit more grown up, and I still have to also find a way to sketch her out when she's like 30-ish. every character is going to grow up, except for the ones who are gonna die. But everyone is gonna grow up, so I have to like do all different stages, which is pretty amazing. And yeah, because it's not just a novel, it's going to be a novel with illustration, sceneries, and little like all the places where stuff is happening. I've sketched like the portal in one of my previous videos. That's going to be part of it. You're gonna have like concept art and also scenes happening with characters. So yeah, they're going to be like part of the story. I don't know exactly the format yet, but it's not just a novel, and it's not a graphic novel or like a comic or any of that, because I don't know how to do that. I'm going to mainly illustrate some scenes and some of the landscapes and scenery, just to bring like, just to visualize things when I'm like making the story, because I really like that. I want my book to be like immersive fantasy completely. Like I'm making everything, so it's a lot of work actually. This is Emori. Now I know who she is. I said right here, define role. The actual design is not when you find her first, because Emori is actually really young. Emori is actually the candidate, like the chosen one. Not necessarily the chosen one, but she is drawn to Earth, and she is like 10/11, and she's going to be under the I guess the control-ish of the bad guy. And the bad guy, the mean character, like the antagonist, is called Chorus. And Chorus is like 50 years old, is a sorcerer, and he took like the power. And she actually was her, like, I don't know exactly if she's family or not, but basically she was the only person really who could have inherited of the source of Earth. And so you don't see her until like second book, I think. You don't know about her, and my heroes are going to search for like people who can join their cause, but they can't find anybody. And so Emori is going to be also quite important, and she's quite young. She's like 11, so she's not 11 in this. I have to rework on the design, but I've sketched that. That's how she is right now, and I need to really work on the concept art a lot more. Maybe this is her in like the third book or something, because she's definitely older in here, but that's Emori. I'm gonna add like all of it. If you really want to read it, it's in French anyway. But if I give you too much information, you're gonna find out the truth, I guess, about the story, which is not ideal. We have Ayla, Chorus. Matan is an important character too, and I don't want to give too much information. I don't have a sketch of him, but Matan is Isla's friend, and he has the ability to really amplify magic. So she is not able to actually do any magic, is only here to amplify. Is a catalyst, and so he's going to be a part of the story because he is drawn to magic, so he's going to search for answers too. Characters that I can give you information about are so Oceana. I don't know how I'm going to translate this one, maybe just Oceana. She is the great aunt of Isla, and she is the protector or the master of the water element. She actually escaped during the Dark Selection, where Chorus took over the power, and she is basically, she saved Ayla, and she went as a refugee into the water sanctuary, where Chorus can't go because Chorus is the master of fire, and he is basically completely allergic to the water element. He can't go into the water sanctuary because it's dangerous for him. So the water sanctuary is the only place where Ayla and Oceana were safe. So she is actually really old, and she is going to give the power to her niece when she's ready. And she has a lot of secrets, a lot of information that you can't really know of about yet. But she was a part of the Dark Selection, so she knows what happened, but she can't really say that. Oceana is actually a really important character too, but you're going to find more information as the story goes on. It is really hard to give when, like, because I haven't really actually written the story. Other characters, Yael and Demeter, are Ayla's parents. I don't know what I've written here, but I changed my angle for that. Yael is actually not magical in any ways. And during the dark selection, she is pregnant with Ayla's brother, and Ayla is like 3-ish. And Demeter is actually a member of the magic guard. It's like the police really of magic, but they're just like making sure that the law is respected, that we pay respects to magic, and like nothing really just goes out in hand. No like dark magic. It's basically just like people controlling, making sure that things are in order. And because with magic, of course, you can have like unsafe use and things like that, so he's a part of that. Ayla's mother is not like extremely important, I'm sorry for her, but I don't want to give too much spoiler about her, but she's going to be a part of the story just in the first book, because she's gonna die, so I mean I have to say that, she's gonna die at some point. But Demeter is pretty important because he's going to be a part of the resistance when Chorus is taking power over the entire capital, basically. So Demeter, basically Ayla thinks her parents are dead, and I'm gonna talk about her brother in future video because I don't have a lot about him, but he's going to have, of course, an important role. More masters. So Nidema is actually the master of wood. She is also a master of the Brotherhood, and she actually is killed during the dark selection, and I'm gonna not give more information about her, but she is also important because she has a lot of information and you don't know anything. I'm the only one who knows everything. We have somebody that I really love and I need to develop more, Aidan. Aidan is actually Chorus' firstborn. He is 19-ish. So Chorus has a son. Aidan is going to fall in love with Ayla. You know, things are not that easy. I'm not gonna give too much information, but Matan, Aidan, and Ayla are like a love triangle because there's magic involved, and Matan is a catalyst, so it's really hard to really get what is magic doing, what is really love, you know. We have guardians, so like I said, every element has a sanctuary, so I don't want to give like all information, but basically Sevan is the sanctuary, like the guardian of this water sanctuary, is like a mentor to Ayla because she's going to grow up in literally the sanctuary, so he's like a big brother kind of thing. We have more guardian. I haven't really developed all of those. I don't exactly remember what I talked about here, but we have also the master of earth, the master of metal, but she is actually also murdered. A lot of people are dying already. What do I have? Orion. Orion is the chosen one for metal. Gardenmore, the resistance. Darren, I don't know. I literally just wrote down, I don't know. Hazel, remember that name. Hazel is like the last character that I developed because I needed a love interest for Alvin. And so Hazel is like a dark elf, and she is very special to me already because I literally developed her entire arc. I literally written down her like childhood until the end of the book, of the story, because I was so inspired. I don't want to give too much information, but in the future video where the characters are more developed, I will probably provide like a sketch and just the basic guidelines of what the character is about without giving information about the actual story, because everything I will give you is spoiler alert. It is like a fantasy novel, so every name is based on like Celtic elements or like elves and fantasy things. You know, it's pretty much like the basic Lord of the Rings lore, I guess. I have like familiar, guardians, demons, dwarves, elf, magicians. We have also just humans that have no power, and there's a lot of things that I need to develop in terms of the lore because, like I said, it's a complete made-up universe. Books, research, more about the characters, but this is pretty much like the old version of the description. This is actually old stuff from the story because like right here I said that Matan is actually able to cast magic, but he doesn't anymore. So can't say that. So magic can be accessed with certain like presets, I guess. Level 1 is like everybody who wants to worship and attend the actual cult. Like it's completely free, you don't really have to, but if you want to go, you can. Magic actually happens at level 2, so there's like basic magicians who can do basic spells, and that's basically it. You can see like to level 2 for a long time. Level 4, no, level 3, level 4, like I said, sorcerer, before you get to Brotherhood Master, which is level 5. Then we have level 6 oracles, and then there's actual, like, the last level, which is the source. You can't really access to magic really easily. It is pretty much like an elite system. The academy is very strongly watched over, and like it's hard to actually learn magic. It's not really like in Harry Potter where you just get selected at 11 and just go and you can easily just learn magic. I guess easily is not the right word, but like in my world there's not a lot of magician. Yeah, it is like prestigious. You don't really go randomly in that one. You have to commit to rules and make sacrifice. It's a lot of training. It takes, like, Chorus is 50 years old. He literally learns magic for like 40 years before being a master, and he was rejected because things happen. I don't want to talk about it. There's a lot of rules with my system. It is really hard to explain. Yeah, I've talked about the cycle of the yin and yang, and there's like magical objects, books, amulets, weapons. Have places, like I said, there's like 5 islands for the power, like the sanctuary. We have also the portals, like the access to the sanctuary. It is hidden. You can't just go like you go to IKEA. You're gonna have to. It's like a ritual, I guess, which is known. By the way, I can give you the information because everybody knows that you can't just come on the island and just go through the sanctuary. You're gonna have to. Nobody really goes there. It is a sanctuary for a reason. You're gonna have to be a certain level or have somebody with you that is a certain level, and there's a control. Like, you just don't go through the portal like randomly. So I have sketched out different ideas for the portals. Sun is for fire and earth, the moon is for metal and water, and the wind is taking place on the wood island. Nothing, another scenery. This is like an old bridge where Ayla is gonna have a refuge thing. I don't know when, I just had that in my dreams and I really like it, and so I started sketching it out. This is very detailed, by the way. And there's also like some more stuff here. Physics and I have to think about climates and like scenery and temperatures and things like that. A magical forest. It is really intense to create an immersive fantasy world. Another gate, maybe. This is the origin. This one is really important because this was written in 2007, and this is the genesis. This is what the story is based on. I've written that a long time ago. I thought about it in a dream because all of my stories come from in a dream, and I've written that, and this is what started the entire thing. Now, in this story, originally, the magic was completely forbidden because there was like a big event that literally killed too many people, and so the government completely shut down everything, and it was illegal to do any magic. And it was getting really dark when I was writing about this one, so I drifted away partially from that because I didn't really want to go on that road with like child traffic and blood magic, and it was pretty dark. Maybe eventually I will like build another story on that, but Chorus is right here. He was already a part. He was the big guy, but he died originally. And now he's the bad guy. But anyways, society, so I have to work about basic details like trade, money, where she's going to sleep, eat, how she is. She has to be safe and healthy. How she travels, how to buy a horse, maybe. There's like a lot of things I have to think about. Scene has nothing because this is actually like how to. In scenes, I'm going to draw specific scenes happening in the story, so there's nothing yet. What is this one? This is just for sketching. This is for the creature. So the creatures like legendary stuff, familiars, things like that. Elves and sirens and dragons and things like that. And there's a lot of things. Legends, and this is the relationship. I have started to work about relationship between people. and that is just other ideas. This is a very long video. I hope that you actually find it interesting. It was really fun to give you more information about the book. I don't have any release date because it's a massive project. I am working on it. I will get it out only when the actual story is completely written. Not necessarily the entire like 3 books, but at least the general story. I know what's happening, and I have like the beginning and the end. I need to work again on characters, relationships, all the things happening. I need to work on legends and myth and all the mysterious places. I need to build the entire world, so it is a lot of work. And then I need to write everything, and I also have to translate everything. So eventually, like, I don't have a set date, but I would like to get this out in a couple years maybe. But you're gonna have more information as just the day go by. Every time I have like a massive update, I will make a video. So yeah, I think I've covered the general thing that I wanted to say about this piece. If you have any questions, any suggestions also about the book and the story, anything, just post a comment below and let me know. I would be really happy to answer to everything, and maybe you can give me insights on some of the things. If I didn't make sense about one part, just also tell me, and I will try to answer to things I can answer to, because like I said, I didn't want to spoil too much. So everything that I mentioned is quite known around like the first like third of the book, maybe like the first book. The only spoiler I give is that Ayla's mom is going to die, because she doesn't have really a role per se in the actual book. I don't have anything for her, but her dad is really important. So yeah, and she thinks her mom is dead anyway, so it doesn't really make any sense to really just keep her alive. Maybe I'll change that, I don't know yet, but I think she's going to be dead forever. Anyways, that's it for this video. Hope that you find it interesting, and I'll see you in next week for like a sketchbook reveal, like a sketchbook tour, because I have like a giant sketchbook. If you'd like to support my channel, don't forget to like and comment and share this video. If you want to support my work, feel free to go on my Etsy store, link below. I have like coloring books and prints and lots of things. So yeah, link will be below the video. And that's it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye!